What you whisper in the dark is loudly revealed in the light. In this video, Willow and I are going to discuss the lullaby method. This method is so powerful that I had to stop doing it for a couple of days. Now I'm doing it again, but this manifestation technique will give you results in the time that you want, guaranteed. Whether that's within 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, you will see transformation surely within 7 days, results within 24 hours. It doesn't really matter. I'm super excited to talk about this. The lullaby method has completely changed my life, and I know that it will change yours. So what is it? We're going to talk about what it is and how to practice it and really shift into a timeline that already exists. Also, hi, if you're new here, my name is Brianalowe, and this is Athena's channel, where we talk about wisdom, spiritual warfare, and practical reasoning. This is a manifestation channel, and I am a metaphysical teacher. I'm also a mystic first, so a lot of these videos, I give you my personal experiences just so that you know that it's possible for you. You can be, do, or have anything. So let's get straight into it. A couple weeks ago, I made a video on visualizing and how I would say an affirmation, I would say an imaginal act, and kind of lullaby myself to sleep in that state. That is what I was doing a couple weeks ago when I made that video. So I definitely know that it works, and I did see a lot of transformation in my personal life as well. So let's talk about what it actually is. The lullaby method is something coined by Neville Goddard in the early 1900s, but people have been doing this for a really long time. It's essentially right before you go to sleep, that foggy, groggy state that you're in, you're going to conjure up a scene in your mind that is what you want to experience. And then you're going to say an affirmation. You can whisper it out loud, which is what I do, or you can say it in your head. But the whole point of creating this scene is to change your identity. It's to shift your identity so that you, in turn, go into a reality where it already exists. Because again, everything is finished. All of creation is complete. It's just you as the operant power shifting into the preferred reality that you want to experience. The inner world that you reside in, that is the only thing that gets expressed. So however you feel about yourself internally, that internal environment, that energy is being expressed through you in your 3D circumstances. So it's really important that you only care about this internal world and how you feel on a moment-to-moment basis. Your state of being matters. Your circumstances do not. Keep that in mind as we move forward. So I have this visual as an example. You guys know that I love a vision board, and visuals are my way, and pretty much a lot of people's ways, of seeing things clearly, okay? So we are very visual creatures. We like to manifest and see things around us. So visuals are the most powerful thing that you can tap into to see your manifestation come faster. So I would see this photo of a person with really long hair. And right before bed, I would close my eyes and tell myself, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Now, here's the thing. This visual would create an imaginal act in my mind. So I would look at this, I would see the long hair, and then before bed, I would envision myself going to the salon and seeing my hairdresser say, "Oh my gosh, your hair is so long and healthy." And I would respond, "Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful?" Or I would say, "Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you." So the affirmation that you're whispering, that you're saying over and over again in your mind, is implying that the scene is already done. It's already fulfilled, which is very different than what I think a lot of people talking about affirmations are saying right now. I fully believe that vain repetition is a thing, and I've made videos on this before. I really haven't switched up with that. I still think that if you're going to say an affirmation, the intent behind it is way more important than the affirmation itself. If you're saying an affirmation that makes you feel icky, that makes you feel uncomfortable and not in a good way, then I don't ever recommend to keep using that affirmation. It comes from knowing, okay? It comes from responding and creating an affirmation that actually aligns with that reality that you're going into. So going back to this photo, I would imagine going to the hairdresser. I know my hairdresser very well. I've been going to her for a couple years now. So I would literally hear her voice say, "Your hair is so long and healthy. Your hair is so long and healthy." And I would respond, "Oh, thank you. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? I don't know how this is." Okay, mind you, I will show you how long my hair has gotten. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that my hair has been very long. I cut my hair. I did a big chop when I moved back to Vegas, probably about in 2023. And then now this is a braid, but now it's going back to the length that I see in my head. And I've been bleaching my hair. Like there's no reason why my hair should be as long as it is right now. But anyway, so I say all of this to say that your response, your affirmation is going to be what you would naturally say if the wish is fulfilled, if the imaginal act comes to pass, when the imaginal act comes to pass. I can guarantee you, once you start doing this, you will feel a shift internally. And this shift means that you've done it. You have done it. It is done. And then you keep going back. You keep going back to that imaginal act. And then over time, your body will become adjusted. It becomes desensitized to that feeling state, that state of being. And then it just feels like first nature. It feels like of course, this is how I function. Of course, my hair gets super long, even though it wouldn't grow past this length for middle school, high school, and college. It now becomes your normal to where if you thought about the past, you wouldn't recognize that person. And this happens all the time. People, they look back in their past and they say, I don't even recognize who that is. I don't even know that person. It's because you literally stepped into a different version of yourself that is in a different timeline, that is in a different universe altogether. So let's go a little bit further. Right before you go to bed, there is a foggy, groggy-like state right before you go to sleep. And this state is the prime time to impress yourself with new ideas. Why? Because your brain waves are slower and they are mimicking the brainwave states that you had when you were a child. So we all know that when you're a child, you're easily impressioned and you take all this stuff in like a sponge. So right before you fall asleep and right when you wake up, those are the times where your brain waves are moving in that way. So you're going to say a lullaby to yourself, and you can do either or. You can create the imaginal act and loop that over and over again and respond to it. You can say the affirmation, "Thank you, I did it. That was easy. That happened really fast. Isn't it wonderful?" And Neville Goddard, he talks about, isn't it wonderful? If you want to manifest a lot of things, like more than just one thing, you've got like a lot of things that need to happen in your life right now and you need them to happen fast. Isn't it wonderful is going to get you there. You just say that in your mind. Isn't it wonderful? So you can create the imaginal act, say, "Isn't it wonderful?" or whatever phrase, or you can say the phrase, close your eyes, say the phrase, and then keep lullabying that to yourself. And eventually you'll receive an imaginal act that meets that statement. So if I just say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," then eventually, after meditating in that, a visual will come into my mind. An imaginal act that I can loop over and over again will work. You can also do this, where you look at a visual, create an imaginal act, and then respond to that imaginal act. And again, this is very different than just saying things just to say them, okay? You're not just saying an affirmation, you're responding. You're creating a response to something that does exist, that is already existing in this reality. How long does this take? You can do this for about 5 minutes. Start your way with 5 minutes, work into 10 minutes, work into 15 minutes, but the whole point is to fall asleep in this state. So you can say, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? And just keep saying that, keep whispering that to yourself. I promise you, it will be reflected in the light. In the 3D, it will be reflected in this world. I'm so excited. Please let me know how this goes for you. Try it over the next couple of days. You'll see results within 3 days. Oh, and then let's go over what it feels like at first, because I don't want anyone to feel thrown off by what happens. So what I noticed when I was doing it personally is that the first few days, my body was wired. It was wired. So I would do it night and morning. And especially during the nighttime sessions, right when I'm falling asleep, I would say it and I would say it, but then it would conjure up these sensations of so much excitement that I had a hard time falling asleep. So sometimes I would cry, sometimes I would get like my teeth would chatter, sometimes like just weird things would be happening while I'm doing these imaginal acts because I wasn't used to it. Okay, so I wasn't used to it, and I was going there and putting myself in that reality, and then doing it over and over again, I would become desensitized. But at first, it is there, you're rewiring your entire body, essentially. You're telling your cells how to react to this new paradigm. Now, after a couple of days, you'll notice that, and this is in my experience, you'll notice that your body tends to become more grounded, and then sleeping becomes easier. Sleeping becomes more restful, and you actually feel more peaceful. You feel more relaxed. You feel like, yeah, I'm not even thinking about this anymore. I could do this. I don't need to. Like, it doesn't really matter, because you're in a state of neutrality. You're in a state of peace. So keep doing this over and over again until your body adjusts, and see how it goes. It's basically like if you're playing a video game and it's a really gory video game, at first you're it's very sensitive to you, but then over time your brain adapts to that normalcy, and then you become desensitized. You become familiar with what it looks like to play that game. Same thing with, I'm getting all these random examples in my head, but when I first started working at Nordstrom, this was back in high school. It was like my second job. I got a job at Nordstrom, and I remember trying to sell clothes, or like trying to talk to customers and going through that whole sales process. Spending $200 on a pair of jeans was not something that I was used to. But over time, the more months that I spent working there, the more adjusted and the more normal I felt it was to spend that type of money on a pair of jeans. So I became really good at selling those jeans because I felt like it was familiar. I felt like it was the natural way to buy things, because they were durable, because they had so much value, because they lasted longer, X, Y, and Z. You get the point now. The whole point of entering into these imaginal acts is to become familiar, to become normal, and to create a very familiar relationship with that reality that already exists. So have fun with the lullaby method. Isn't it wonderful? Oh, I'm so excited to see what manifests for you guys. Come back and let me know. I will be in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I know some of you guys have been wanting to have me walk with you and kind of like guide you through this process. So I am working on that. I will reveal what that looks like in the next video. I'm so excited to share more with you guys and to work with you one-on-one. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.